The topic of today's fireside chat and panel discussion was a universal digital identity for the UK, myth or soon to be reality. And as we sort of round up, I'm going to ask each of the panel for sort of a one key takeaway, a one thing that they would like to leave with this Open Banking Excellence audience this afternoon. Perhaps start with Ross. What one thing would you like us to take away in terms of a digital identity for the United Kingdom?
So I think there's an opportunity here, as Paula just mentioned, that we've a great opportunity to increase security and have kind of net benefits there, huge benefits around fraud prevention, inclusion, and kind of improvements to people's user journey around kind of interaction with these services. However, saying that, the devil's in the detail, and there are a large number of risks here, and those risks change. And so how we implement these controls and this new technology is, we need to be very, very careful with this. We're dealing with people's not just their personal information sometimes, but just very sensitive information that people have a right to for us to care for properly and to handle correctly, and with kind of privacy and consideration that this is their identity. Because a large number of third parties are involved, we just need to be very, very careful in that regard. And so that requires a lot of testing and a lot of validation of whatever fit for purpose solution that we come up with. So I think there's work to be done in the security space.
Ross, thank you for that. And I hand over to Philip. What one takeaway would you like to leave the OBE audience with?
I think I'm just picking up on the point Paula made, and actually great minds think alike, or just nice when you have coincidences on particular themes. But Paula mentioned the online safety bill, which has passed this week. And it's a fantastic point, that, because obviously I know it's not necessarily in the financial services sector, but it's the importance of strategically interlocking and dovetailing legislation that can help support one another. So it's all very well sort of just passing legislation and say, right, we need to get this universal ID out, but actually you need to have drivers there in other sectors. So for example, it's quite an onerous, I'm not going to get into it, we haven't got time, but the online safety bill places great onus on tech providers to sort of proactively police the platforms. Whereas actually you've also got to, if people want to write stuff like graffiti on a wall, they need to be prepared to sort of at least share their ID, not necessarily with the whole world, but with their provider, so that if they are writing stuff that is defamatory or obscene or whatever, that you know, and I know there has to be balance with privacy, and I'm a privacy lawyer myself, so I'm fully aware of that, but that would then, I think, help support the concept of digital IDs, because it has accountability, and I think it's, you know, it's just getting the balance right at the moment. That's sort of switched, you know, very heavily on the tech platform provider, so I think that's probably where it's heading.
Philip, thank you. And then Paula, just a final takeaway from you for the audience.
Yes, I think with the open banking infrastructure and the DCITS trust framework in place, the UK has all the infrastructure it needs. Let's get on and use it for digital ID.
Thank you, very, very succinct. Thank you for that, Paula. And Stacey, we started with a fireside chat from you. You joined us with across the panel. Let's conclude with a final comment from you in terms of one key takeaway.
Absolutely, and you know, it's very much echoing everything that's been said on this call, and Paula's key takeaway just then. This is happening, it's here now. We have the infrastructure. It's really up to the banks to start actively playing and collaborating in this space to really drive adoption and use cases forward. So I leave with a lot of optimism and hope that we'll see this market greatly increase in the next 6 to 12 months with bank support.